I was talking with a friend about this earlier today, and I feel like it's very important to talk about this with other people. So, if you haven't watched the YouTube video that I made earlier today, go watch it. It's a reading, and it's about the way that the cycles are coming back around and things of that sort. So, let me just give you a breakdown of the way that it was put to me. So, we are, a lot of us, it may not be something that resonates with all of you. If you've been on this site, on this journey, spiritual journey, for a while, you've probably went through several cycles, and maybe you didn't understand why you have so many cycles and things of that sort. So to reach a new level, so to speak, or a new stage, a higher vibrating stage, a less dense stage in your journey, we go through these cycles, okay? And the way that it was expressed to me is we have this big loop, okay? Within that loop is several other circles. Okay, circles. They're telling me circles. There's a circle. And within that circle is several other circles that make up different experiences that you have throughout your life, okay? Different journeys that you're going through within that cycle, okay? That cycle is that big circle that I was telling you about. When we start that cycle, we're at a kind of energy. We've probably been going, starting to feel like an ego death, where you are starting to understand that there's different things that were true and that were false, and that you had to relearn. And so the ego part of it was you trying to stay in that old programming that you was taught, that this was the truth and this was this way. And, if you don't work all the time or don't make this amount of money, you're never going to have anything. And, it's just all about releasing or learning what kind of programming that you have. Anyhow, we start this cycle off, and as we start to go up the circle on that first side, that's when we're feeling a lot of the highs of highs, the good things. We're in a flowing type of energy. We experience a lot of things that are like blessing us and giving to us, and it's like we manifest a lot real well, and there's a lot of really good things happening. When we get to that really high point on the top of the circle is when we feel really, really good. There's probably some really good things happening for us. We might be creating new energies and starting new projects and things of that sort. However, as we're starting to go downhill and go down that other side of the circle is when we start to feel like things just don't seem like they're going right. Maybe we're a little bit confused about the way that things are working out. We thought that things were going well, and we thought that we were calm. We were manifesting a lot of things into our reality, but all of a sudden it just feels like things are a little bit off. We feel confused. We may be frustrated. We may be going through this time where we feel like we're in that ebb. That's where we're not completely in the state of flowing with the cycles in our life, or not completely feeling like we're flowing. Okay, we are flowing. It's just we feel like we're not flowing. But what's happening on the outskirts is Spirit is working some things out. The universe is rearranging some things. This may be a time when you feel a little bit of those tower moments. And, I'm even hearing when you're starting to go on that downside of part of the circle, a lot of tower moments, or a lot of moments where you just feel like, I don't know about this. So to move on to when you get to that other side of the circle, where you're lined up, if you put a line across that circle and you're lined up with that beginning point, you are at this point where you just feel like things are balanced out. You don't have a lot of issues, or the issues that you do have, you stay very calm. You don't over or underreact to those issues. It just feels like things are in alignment, or you're balanced, harmonious, and so on and so forth. But then we go into this next stage of this big cycle, okay? Remember, there's a lot of little cycles within this cycle in different areas of your life, but I'm just talking about this life journey, okay? This is just how it's presented to me, or this spiritual journey. Maybe life journey too. It's the same thing. Anyhow, so when we're going back down on this circle is when we're starting to feel like things are moving a little bit slower. It just doesn't seem like things are in that even keel anymore. It doesn't feel like there's balance and harmony. So it's kind of like when we're on top of that circle, but the difference is it's a lot slower type of energy. When we're on the top part of that circle, and we're starting to feel like things are a little chaotic and confusing, and we was just in this really good high point, why is it starting to feel like we're low? it's quickly moving down to that point of being back in balance. So you don't stay in that cycle for very long. However, when you start to move down underneath that circle and you're in that lower type of energy, it kind of gives us this feeling of like, damn, this is never going to pass. I'm never going to get up this hill again. And why? It's because it's almost like there's nothing to take off from. There's nothing tangible to hold on to, because those blessings are up in that top part where we're in those highs of highs. Okay, so now we're in the lows of lows, and even though you may be in a really good area in your ascension journey, you're somebody that vibes high, you still will have some low times. And those low times can be like, for those of us who have been on this journey for a while and we're very awakened and we're high vibrating, we don't have a lot of very dense moments or, density as a part of our life. You don't feel that chaos, the confusion, the tower moments, the ego death as intensely as you did when you first began your journey. So many of us may be on like our third or fourth cycle, or maybe this is your first cycle, and the ego type of death that you are going through when you're on that down moment is probably the kind that's teaching you about your worthiness, how worthy you are. The next cycle, through that big cycle with all those other cycles of experiences in there, have to do with totally just had a brain fart. I don't know why I just had a brain fart, but I totally just had a brain fart. But anyhow, those moments that you have take me back to where I was. I felt like it was so important. I want to go back there, but I feel like I'm not being taken back. However, been a very long day, and I've been extremely tired. Anyhow, so the journey is a cycle, and we go through several of those cycles. Within each of those cycles, we have these highs of highs and lows of lows. We get connected with the energy of balance. We have cycles within that cycle that teaches us about our worth and respect, and it may be about how to accept gratitude, or how to be faithful, or, how to trust in something, maybe how to be patient. And all of these different cycles are things that correlate with spiritual principles that we need to practice in our life, aspects of ourselves that we need to see differently as like something that is as a asset instead of a character defect. Or maybe it's cycles that are teaching us how to get away from a character defect and change that into something that is beneficial for us. But there's cycles within this big cycle. But this big cycle, we are now, okay, I know for me, okay, and several of my clients and several of my friends that have reached out to me are going through the beginning of a new cycle. So we feel like we're big cycle, the big one, not the little ones within those, although there's going to be new of those starting for us. We know that we've been started in this new cycle, okay? It's like there's still 1 foot in the old big cycle and 1 foot in the new big cycle, but it's more like we're reaching more for the new cycle. And what's going to happen in this cycle for many of us is a lot more passion being poured into us in some way, shape, or form. It might just be because you've opened up and ascended and evolved that much more that, it feels that way. But either way it goes, we are going to be more connected. We are going to feel less resistance, or we're going to be in a state of least resistance. And we're going to accomplish a lot of things. The ego death that we may go through at this time, okay, for those of us who have been on I'm speaking as in like from my point of view and what I will experience and what those who are at my level experience. However, some of you that's just beginning, it's not going to be the same exact way. It may look a little bit different to you. However, that cycle is one of the cycles that you're in. Whether it's the first one or the second one or the fifth or the 10th, it doesn't really matter. Each one of those cycles is a new level of existence, a new level of understanding, a new level of awareness, a new level of being, okay? And with each one of those levels or stages, so to speak, you're existing in a new state of heaven, a new state of consciousness. So you're moving out of a lower state of hell or a hellish existence into a higher state of heaven or a heavenly existence. So I hope that you guys understood what I was trying to say and that you got something out of this message that is being given to you. Just know that you're meant to go through those cycles, and each cycle is going to get easier and easier and easier for you to find peace in. and for you to be grateful for the challenges that you're going through, whether it's people being jealous of you and you having to perceive or start to understand and go through processes of perceiving that judgment or that disapproval or that jealousy that somebody may have for you, is because they like what they see in you and they don't know how to get it, or they like what they see in you, and as they try to get it, it's pulling up and stirring up a lot of darkness in them, things that they don't like about themselves that they have to take a look at. So who's the best person to draw out that anger and stuff and frustration with with somebody of light, somebody who's already evolved to be somebody who can take that challenge, that issue, that whatever, and either give somebody a little bit of love, pray for them, give them some healing, maybe give them some inspiring words that'll encourage them, or maybe it's just being in your presence is enough to help them to feel better. So be that vessel that is grateful for the challenges, grateful for these cycles that we go through, because each one of them, I'm telling you, it gets easier and easier and better, and things around you magically transform, or seemingly magically transform. It's really you that's powerful enough to make those changes happen. I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. Much love to you. Bye.